I'm actually going to go for the trifecta on this one and say that each team is going to peel off their opponent's map pick away from each other, and then they go into map 3 and MIBR closes it out.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Well, we're going to have to find out, Dallas, and it's all going to begin with this pistol round where it does seem like Renegades will be favoring that B bomb site, while MIBR playing very aggressively towards middle. The mid-aggression from Fur right off the bat. He is going to go into a passive mode now as Renegades set up towards the B side of apartments, getting ready to execute out.
Yeah, Taco's just chilling right now. He's at the site. Coldzera's on catwalk to be able to give him some help. As that first flash comes around the corner, Coldzera now sprinting in to give direct support. But Taco is pretty passive on this, but still with no direct resistance, the Renegades will be able to overshoot Taco's position and take him out. And now even with late utility into the market window, they've secured this leg of the map as well. So looking very, very strong for the Renegades defense.
All right, Coldzera looking for anything he might be able to find in this situation. Renegades not giving them much at all, and it does in fact look like we're going to see a save here for the most part. It doesn't look like MIBR want to favor this retake. Instead, looking to keep that armor, bring it into next round. Just try and build up any money they can, maybe pick up a couple easy kills.
Yeah, and that is a bit painful right there. You were saying bringing the armor into the next round. Fur just took a little bit of chip damage, 6 damage to his armor, so he's not going to be able to get the cheap armor. Fallen has clean armor, so he'll be able to get the 350 head armor on top of that. And Renegades take away pistol 1.
And that's the strength of taking B on that pistol round, especially in the fashion that Renegades did approach that site. Essentially, they just do a slow take to get up as far as they can before that jump spot becomes a thing. They're going to pop flash out, they're going to swarm onto the site, and then throw that market smoke. That allows them to move freely within that site as they've blocked off any vision from that market window into the site. And we're going to see Renegades just completely swarm the MIBR side and pretty much just force them off of that site.
Very similar to what happens if you take the A site and there's nobody directly on A site. They're playing retake A. You push in a ticket booth if you're the T side. They did the same thing. They pushed right up to the market and took that fight as well. And they won it. So right now MIBR collected themselves as best as they could. I mentioned that Fallen had saved his chest armor and didn't even take damage to his chest armor. So he gets the cheap head armor on it and is able to buy a scout on top of that and drew first blood against Jacob, who got hit for 70 into the chest from that scout hit.
Yeah, Phelps now, he's got that CZ in hand, playing very close towards this A ramp, so as soon as he spots any of the Renegades players, he's going to drop this smoke in front of him, play very tight towards it, look for that 1 or 2 kills of any players that might want to force the smoke, but it does look like Renegades will be setting up momentarily here for the execute.
Yeah, CZ here could be good for 2 kills. We can see from his perspective, very obvious. There was a shoulder that peeked out into that corner. A well-timed smoke. Phelps now hangs on this tight angle. It might get spammed, but great nade that comes in. It rattles 4 players. In fact, finishes Jacob because, remember, Fallen hit that scout shot earlier, so he was very wounded, but they still instead go to re-aggress. Phelps fires off 3 bullets and then comes back, actually 4, and then gets a second kill as he finishes off Leah. Suddenly, JKS is last man standing against the likes of 4 that remain for MIBR. And all guns were pointing in his direction. No chance. Well played from MIBR, and that just shows that they had seen the light, even though the pistol round was a very, very dark time for them. They said, let's just back off and reset ourselves and go for the second force spray.
Yeah, and really, MIBR being brought to that round win by Fur's pop flash there. I'm not sure if you caught that, but Fur flashing from that connector side over towards the Tetris. Not only does Phelps get the entry kill, but once Fur's pop flash comes out, Phelps is able to get a second one, and at the same time, Fallen now is allowed to peek by that ticket booth. He finds himself a second on the round. It was a great, great little team play from MIBR to get them involved.
So Renegades have gone for a force buy right behind it. This is looking a lot like a match we saw yesterday as well. Wasn't it with Complexity where the
force buys kept going?
Back and forth, back and forth they go. So maybe it's just MIBR just trying to get one thing done if they can, is just secure this round and recollect the momentum that they had lost in the pistol round. And the Renegades had started off on the right foot, but the Renegades, as they stand with just some pistols, just some armor, are reliant on 3 smokes. JKS, Leah's, and Smooya have those, and they are set up still near T-spawn. They're looking to see if somebody from MIBR kind of steps out of bounds.
It does look like Renegades will be dropping these smokes out now, as all their players have consolidated their efforts towards this A bomb site, hanging out by that A ramp. JKS, Smooya, as well as Liaz lining up those smoke grenades to come over momentarily, and on the site to defend is going to be Fallen with that scout, as well as Fur here by the connector.
Those 3 smokes. It's the jungle, stairs, ticket booth side. They'll boost one up on top, and there's always that big gap as well for the smokes near stair side. Great shooting from Asa and Smooya. They'll find one and return fire, triangulating the angles from Fur. they're picking up some frags, very important ones as well, but they haven't secured ticket booth side. The bomb is planted for the A main end. If they keep a couple players back there, they're at the Tetris side and then sandwich end of things right now. And they're in close enough to do some damage with pistols, but you've got enough chip damage to hopefully finish the job with a P250 and a CZ now. There's kits in play as well, so MIBR don't necessarily have to really run down on this headlong, but it's going to be Aza 1v2, and he's got very wounded players up front. Shouldn't be too difficult for him as well. Now they're going to have to start sticking the bomb at this point. He struggles. A casual shot. He needs a shot. He needs a gun. He's picked up an AK at the end there. The bomb will detonate. But wow, I don't think I've ever seen a round play out like that. He stared it down, and I don't think he intended to kill the player that was trying to defend the bomb diffuser.
That was a very scary round there for Renegades. Started to look like MIBR might actually be able to come off with that retake. But at the end of the day, Aza able to close that one out. Taco almost gets that defuse though. He was right on the brink of finishing up that round.
He was very close.
That was a nice force buy coming out from Renegades there.
It's just a casual AK sitting on the ground too.
But
very fortunate for him to be able to recover.
I'm going to draw your attention right away to the MIBR side, Dallas, that have been buying up into this round now. So we've got another force in response to Renegades' force. And for those of you wondering why are they forcing right back, and it's due to the fact that Renegades didn't have a confident round win. Only Aza was alive in that situation. So Renegades, they still haven't got a good money system going yet for themselves here. So MIBR, this is their opportunity to break that money and maybe put Renegades onto a force buy if Renegades want to battle back with it, but most likely Renegades will tap out and they'll go for that save if MIBR are able to pull off this force buy.
Yeah, the bomb plant might be the deciding factor if it ends up playing down that kind of storyline. If MIBR do end up winning the round. If the Renegades get a bomb plant, they'll probably go for a force by themselves too. So now, got a little bit of a skirmish across the connector side. coldzera, as strong as he is with the deagle though, ends up with a double peek. Aza gets the kill in there, as now they've flexed into mid, taking full control of that one. It's going to be a rather fast push into the B side. Aza is just going to continue on, avoids this flashbang that comes in, does control his spray, as it may have been wild, but he does end up dying without able to get a second magazine into the gun. It's 3v3 right now, and the bomb's still back. It's not being able to be planted. It's over there towards the arches.
Look at Jacob now moving towards this window. Phelps is aware of this, however. Phelps not checking his right, though. Looks towards his left side of window, and Jacob's able to capitalize on that, pick up a kill now to give Renegades the man advantage moving in towards this B bomb site.
I mean, Taco being so far into the site, I like that they just get out of the market. You know you've got this flank on the back end. Take the fight on the front side. You might even be able to see the bomb in there. Now they know exactly where Jacob is. They've won the fight in the B site, no problem. And now they've even scrounged some utility off the deck. Jacob spotting Taco over there just to the other side of the van. He's taking all this chip damage. They swing out. It wasn't a well-coordinated double peek, but they do end up securing that. No bomb plant for the Renegades. MIBR keep 2 rifles in that round, and you're right. I think that's a scenario where you would expect Renegades to bow out, but
they're going to buy in, actually. So they're going to go ahead and force right back into this round now. So that's one round after the other, with the exception of pistol round, that we're seeing both teams forcing up in efforts to just break the other team's economy and get themselves in the front. Renegades now off that map loss or that round loss, sorry, will be buying up some Deagles, P250s, a couple CZs. They've only got 2 smoke grenades, Dallas, so it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this round.
Well, the last time they had 3 smokes, they executed A. Aza's using his smoke into the mid window side. Fur is going to see this smoke rain in, and he's already up here, though. And he's ducked under the angle just as Smooya pulls a grenade out. Luckily, though, he's able to duck and cover. Fur now fights his way back towards connector with 3 kills. coldzera has finally showed up for some support as well, and the Renegades finally lose 2 rounds in a row. They won't be buying this next round for sure.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate there. Fur gets caught out in that no man's land of aggressing middle. After he gets spotted out, he looks to fall back, and there's 2 players towards lower on the Renegade side looking to peek out and get that kill very quickly. Unfortunately, though, one of the Renegades players went for a pop flash towards top of mid, so as Liaz flies out, he actually gets flashed and is unable to actually pick up any kill onto Fur. That allows Fur to get a very nice 3K or 2K,
3K.
I do believe, on the round.
2 kills underneath, and then 1 kill to top mid, which was pretty crazy. He recognized how vulnerable he was.
Exactly.
Once he did not kill Smooya at top mid, he realized that it's likely that he's going to end up getting pinched from beneath.
He probably would have gone down if not for that team flash from Renegades, because Liaz looked like he was going to be in the advantageous position there to actually pick up the kill.
Okay, so we've seen the Renegades with 3 smokes. We've seen them with 2 smokes. Now we've seen them with nothing. It's just Glocks. straight in. They've got a little bit of respect towards the B site. Taco has been notified that there are Ts over to this direction, but that was just to try and settle in, maybe get 1 or 2 players from the A site to take a few steps out of their just foxhole standing positions where they usually are. And so you've got 1 player on each site. The bomb's now been dropped on A, and it's all cleaned up across the field. Perfect round for MIBR, but you wouldn't expect too much from the Renegades with just Glocks.
Yeah, Renegades were essentially just looking to pull the MIBR players off of each site, keep them guessing on to where the bomb was heading. So you saw 2 players initially run out of halls, go down, and then becomes that B fake that they tried to run to pull off the final member towards that portion of the map. But Phelps stays in A. He's able to take down Azza, who is carrying the bomb. And now moving into this gun round, actually, MIBR are going to keep that Galil. They're not going to upgrade too heavy, but they've got plenty of utility. They've got plenty of nades. The kits are on the field as well. This is a strong buy coming out from the CTs. Some good eco rounds that they were able to capitalize on.
Pretty big gap here in mid for this smoke, so Taco will just be able to stare that down and make the call that, sure, they dumped a ton of utility out here in mid. You even saw MIBR start to support in. I think coldzera came in from Catwalk, and as well as an additional player that came in to Connector, which would have been Fur, to just peek in, make sure that it's there. And those grenades served some purpose to maybe unsettle B. coldzera now behind the bench. It's going to be your first primary contact, it looks like. Taco actually was the first one. coldzera will actually just stay hidden. Not going to poke out quite yet until just now. Just when they're vulnerable, he gets 2 and forces the bomb down. A little bit of awkwardness. Fur doesn't quite catch Smooya on the timing of as he rounded that corner. It's 2v2 right now. But again, the Renegades are able to get to the site with the bomb, but they're not able to use any utility in the post situation like this after the frags have been traded to feel comfortable to plant the bomb.
I like this from Jacob now, clearing out this market, making sure he can get all of this area. Watching for Phelps as well, but falling on Catwalk, able to take down Smooya now. Jacob left in this 1v2. How's he going to be able to get himself out of this one?
Actually, they know that there's a player on Catwalk, but he's suspecting that somebody's up in the apartment still. And in fact, Fallen has just come all the way back around. They will double team through the market right now, where Jacob is not going to be aware of. Even though he had cleared that, all that information out, suspecting, okay, if nobody's in the market by now, it's got to be clean. So at least he makes that mental judgment. Instead, it's false information for him as MIBR start to streak away now.
I do like that out of Fallen, getting that initial kill on the site player and then resetting himself, meeting up with Phelps, going for that double up setup. He's able to pick up a final kill in that round very easily as well. coldzera from bench here, able to play that very well, able to pick up 2 before finally going down. And we're going to see a 5-2 scoreline here in favor of MIBR to start this first half.
Could be more too, because it's just some pistols and armor as the Renegades are starting to float up towards max loss bonus. So it's just a half buy from them with a full buy coming into the next round. So MIBR should have an easy time right now to start to collect themselves for their CT side. Because if it had continued at this pace of force buy, then it wouldn't really matter because the Renegades would have had a pretty strong T-half anyways with it being a CT-sided map. But finally MIBR are able to settle themselves, get through a couple of these eco rounds, and start to mount up some score.
Yeah, Smooya actually caught an orc grenade there as he was moving towards that upper B palace area. He's going to be down to 4 HP now, and a little bit of a smoke coming in towards those B halls as Taco is able to take down Jacob now. Smooya not forcing the issue, but we will see the rotations coming over from MIBR to help reinforce that site hold.
That's a great smoke too. It's thrown over the site. It lands deep enough in the apartments that if it chokes off that door, you can see how far back they are. They suspected maybe they could crawl through that and get across that first window. Lia's, ouch. I don't think there was a CT over towards the van, but instead he just executes his teammate in the back of the head.
I think he might have seen Taco just jumping
just start
up.
Jumping.
Yeah, just get onto that B platform ledge there, or the balcony, I should say. I think he just spotted him, but at the same time he had a teammate moving in front of him as well. So it's going to be a TK for Liaz on the round. 6-2 is our scoreline as Renegades buying back up into this. Yeah, there it is. That was essentially all it was. It was Liaz spotting Taco, firing off that deagle shot, but Smooya running in front of him at the exact same time.
Sometimes you have to take that shot. Either he mows you both down and you just hold your tongue and decide not to shoot, or you shoot through him and you kill the opponent. And it's a chance.
Thankfully, it's not the old punishment for TKing there where you used to lose 3,300. Only 300 goes out.
Yeah. Quick through the fire and flames. coldzera instead, he was last time on bench hunkering in. This time he's at the fireboxes. He will get traded out right now, favoring the Renegades. But again, they've gotten into the site. Can they plant this bomb? Looks like Azza will go to the default position with no CTs currently at the ticket booth side are not confident enough, that being Taco, to get out of there and flank and shoot. It will be now up to MIBR to come back into this round. Fer does find a kill to even things out at 3v3.
This is a good opportunity for MIBR. They have a smoke as well as a Molotov on first, so they can Molotov under balcony, they can Molotov off firebox, they can actually get a solid retake going. Fer's actually going to use the smoke for the bomb and Molotov off halls right now. That's going to give MIBR some room to work with.
Well, they know where two players are now. Grenades have come out from the T side in response. Smooya misses his shot. Now Taco will find two. It's left up to JKS. Fallen will seal the deal. And MIBR do get past that rifle round from Renegades, and they will just again have another situation where, since there's a bomb plant, you'll have weak AKs here with some utility, or maybe even some full utility.
That was huge from Taco there. That under balcony player going down there. You're going to see Taco pick up this first kill and then spinning, just essentially flicking down to Azza there under the balcony. Azza should have had that trade, giving himself the opportunity, or Renegades the opportunity, to pick up those final two members, but Taco, that's a great individual effort from him to allow MIBR to actually move into the site.
Okay, mid-control. It's something that we haven't seen too much of from the Renegades since about the 5th round or so. What's that?
Fallen went ahead and did the aggressive smoke towards middle, then he just chucked a spawn, chucked a nade and spawn right in front of him. So I was just kind of questioning why he was doing that. I thought he was going to rebuy, but then I was like, well, he can't rebuy a smoke grenade at this point. So
you get one.
Yeah.
So Renegades, possibly because of that flub, and you won't have Fallen in mid possibly, that Renegades have gotten a free ticket in here to try and drive a wedge between MIBR. They can Renegades could control this if they can manage to get Fer out of this window, because you can see the defense right now is 2-1-2. Fer's tucked into that corner underneath the vents and has not been spotted, but he just times it so perfectly.
Yeah, he's also going to smoke himself out in window now to give the T's no sight of his exit plans, but he's not actually going to push out of window. He's going to stay within it. Azza now moves in towards that jungle area and is able to take down Fer. But look at these MIBR players. JKS taking down Phelps towards ramp, but they're still falling, pushed in towards this T side of ramp.
Yeah, this will be a surprise. Where does the bomb get planted? Looks like it's just going to be in front of the triple box, and that's where Fallen can strike, searching for the next ones as well. He'll just settle down where the bomb had been dropped. It's just underneath those two stairs, so he knows exactly where that's at. And now he's drawing attention. So when I see Fallen just take a swing like that and pop off a shot, I'm anticipating some other players looking to get in position. From a distance, Cold Zera is all the way on catwalk searching in. A beautiful pop flash in from Liaz. I give him credit for that one, because that makes GKS just a simple one-tap for him into that site. 2v3 right now with 10 seconds left. Just got to get this bomb down, but look at Taco's position. That's going to be a stopped bomb, and there's no way now that Liaz is able to get back to the site. He'll make the smart move and just call it quits.
Yeah, that was great from MIBR. First Fallen, aggressing towards that A ramp, able to pick up the bomb planter. He doesn't overextend from that point. He's going to play it passive, allow the rotations to come in. Why? Because Taco has called that he's coming in to reinforce. He's also going to be on that flank with him. So Fallen at that point realizes the longer he stays alive, the longer it's going to take for Renegades to recover the bomb. At the same time, the smokes have faded, and Colzera now is playing on catwalk with an AWP watching the site. So all in all, MIBR, some great structure within that round for the CTs. They're able to pull off this 8-2 lead.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit out of control too. Smoke in the mid, they're going to run boost for some creativity. They need something to work for them right now, because MIBR are starting to stack up some cash as well. They've got 4 players actually above the $6,000 mark, so they've got enough money saved up for a rainy day if it does manage to come, but it shouldn't even happen this round. It should be a piece of cake. Yeah, and the smoke was there. He only saw like 1 or 2 frames of Smoothie's knee come around the corner before he snapped on him.
I mean, that's just the way Fallen's been playing these last few weeks. He's been just a phenomenal effort for the MIBR side. Just tremendous play style out of Fallen. Right now, MIBR in the man advantage situation. Azza looking to make it 4v4, though.
Well, he did force Fer to spam quite a bit, so they were able to re-aggress back to connector, and they do currently own this. But being a man down right now, and you're sitting in mid, kind of floundering in mid, Fer gets a twofer. I don't even know if he would recognize that Azza was there, but instead just lines them up, spears them through, and JKS and Jacob, even little kills right now like this against Fer really don't have that much impact. They need to be able to get 3, maybe 4 kills to really start to put a dent or a scratch into MIBR's economy.
Yeah, as we near the 30-second mark on the round, it should be coming to a close shortly. Here is JKS moving up in towards connector. Phelps is able to take him down. The final member, Jacob, looking for something with this Deagle, unable to find much, and Fallen will be able to take him down. 9-2 is what we're going to move on to here, as MIBR completely dominating this first half.
Yeah, and really, it just they just needed to get out of the muddy waters too. You know, they were like wading through the water in the first 4 rounds. It looked like 4 or 5 rounds. But as soon as they were able to set up with an AWP, put that in Fallen's hands, he was able to come alive. And then because he was able to come alive, then the rest of the team's able to kind of be inspired by that. More money makes more money. The rich get richer, and you see now the double AWP setup that's been arriving. So Taco is actually standing up there on top frag of his own, 12-3, joined by Fallen now at 12-2.
Fallen can literally do no wrong at this point. He's hitting every single shot he wants. I mean, we saw it in the previous round through the smoke, then right here taking down Smooya to begin the round. Now he's looking at Halls. I imagine he might be picking up a kill on JKS shortly as well.
It seems like a matter of time, but is this what we had spoken about before the match, is how often the Renegades love to do some kind of window boost, but they have been punished. They even touted that we have a couple ways to be able to punish people who are looking to strike against our window boost, but instead it looks like it's 5-on-1 now. They all just seem to end up in front of Fallen's crosshair, you know? He just sees the right place. It's just his positional and his intelligence in the game.
I was going to say, he's moving around the map very well here, starting off the round towards window, moving then towards that top of jungle, taking down JKS towards Halls, then getting a nice little peek towards middle to finish up the round. It's the Fallen show in this first half, Dallas.
Yikes. Bombs down too back there, so with 40-some seconds left, Liaz is going to look at his watch and make the decision that if he really wants to try on this round, he's going to have to go head for that right now. Throws a molly when he's in mid, so they know where he's at. You see that caused MIBR to start to shift a bit. They go for a double peek against him, and they will trade 1 for 1. And at this point, there should be no more threat to MIBR's economy for the remainder of the half. They'll be happy to take any kind of those trades straight up as MIBR start to get into the double digits and look to close out in another dominant half of theirs.
Okay, 10-2 is our scoreline, and Renegades here being a little bit worse for wear. Going to be buying up some pistols into this round, and there's that nice little flick shot there that Fallen was able to hit onto Jacob jumping off that catwalk. But yeah, looking back at the Renegades buy, I imagine they're going to be looking to just stay together, do a hard execute. They aren't finding too much success on their default. In fact, they're losing a lot of members individually without having trade potential. So going into a hard execute where all 5 of their members are together and they can just burst on a site, it's a good call out of them.
It's actually interesting too, because initially MIBR had paid a lot of respect to what could have been a B rush. They had 4 players on that side. Now they keep 3 over there and 2 on the A site where they'll be fighting up front. Phelps hanging in tight to the corner is able to get 2. That's a favorable trade, but it does hand 1 rifle over into Az's hands. He's got head armor as well, but this bomb plant's going to speak volumes to Renegades as they start to close into the latter parts of this half. That's just going to help them along a little bit more and a little bit more. Smooya does not actually peek back after Taco eliminates JKS. He'll get a kill on the other side of that to the connector end, and suddenly it's a 2v2. The AWP from coldzera spots in and dials in right between the eyes of Azza, and it'll leave Smooya left alone with just a mere little P250.
Even if coldzera is not able to pick this up, Fallen should be able to, and there it is. The flank coming in from Fallen will cement the round in MIBR's favor, and Phelps, once again, from that sandwich spot. He's one of those players where on MIBR, he's one of the, I guess, when you're playing for such a star-studded lineup, some of the names can kind of, fall under the bridge. They can kind of get unseen. But Phelps is one of those consistent players since rejoining this MIBR lineup where he's put in a tremendous effort to find any success for this CT side. So kudos to Phelps for playing very well.
Those are some of the
scoreline. I mean, all of MIBR, with the exception of Phelps and coldzera, who are sitting on 8 frags apiece, I mean, they're all hitting their shots. They're all doing very well.
And usually they rely on coldzera heavily, but instead he's tied for the bottom frag on the team. It's going to be a little bit of a change-up from MIBR here. This is a little bit ode to what they had done in the 4th and 5th rounds, playing aggressive into mid. We had seen previously Fur was able to defend last time, got 3 kills, 2 on the underpass and 1 in top mid to remind you of that. This time, Renegades are able to deal with him, at least in an even trade. Fallen in the connector. He's got a smoke below him and a smoke above him, and he just fades into the smoke just as the pop flash arrives. He goes back into the smoke again. He's an apparition, but Azza seems to sense him through that smoke. It'll be an even trade as coldzera even burns 30 of his HP just to try and get back and secure that connector side, because the A site right now is weak. Looks to be, if you can't get a fight up front on this, it could be a retake. Traded back and forth, though, with a 2v2. They might just look to get muddy with it.
That trade from coldzera is massive because it opens up that jungle area now. gives MIBR the possession to actually move back into that portion of the map and have a proper retake on the site. Now you're going to see Phelps actually move into window as well, so coldzera and Phelps are going to begin this retake together here. But on Renegades, are they even going to be able to make it into the site?
Yeah, they're still on the Tetris end, and the grenades coming in. Phelps will be able to spot them crossing. So I would hope that he'd be able to catch the first, but the timing seems to be against him. Just as they're now crossing no man's land, Phelps decides to just zone in on the top side of the Tetris. That's probably because coldzera was looking for this cross side. Smooya in the eyes of Phelps. Phelps got the first. He knows exactly where Smooya is. There's 19 seconds. Phelps does not need to fight this. He could actually disengage, but he takes the fight up front, realizes that Smooya missed his first shot, and that would be his last. 12-2. That's one of the closer rounds that Renegades have had so far, but I can't stress enough how many times the Renegades have gotten to the site with the bomb, but just don't have either enough utility or enough comfort, enough warm fuzzies inside to say, okay, we can plant this bomb.
Well, even in that round there, it looked like Renegades was going to be able to win it. You see Phelps here actually just gets the angle tight enough that Smooya misses the opportunity to hit that shot. He just got over towards that stairs just enough that Smooya had a very tight shot that he needed to hit. Smooya misses it, Phelps takes down the bomber, and then moving into that 1v1, Smooya misses yet again, and Phelps is able to clean it up very easily. So 12-2 is what our scoreline is, as MIBR look to just run away with this half and hopefully end at 13-2 moving into their T side.
Yeah, that would be a lot of problems for the Renegades to the second half, because sure, it's a CT-sided map, but if you don't have a good enough T side, you might not have enough time on the CT half to be able to make anything happen. You make one misstep in the second half at this point, if it is actually going to be 13-2, that Renegades have one real good chance.
Oh, and it does look like Renegades very fast towards A ramp now as coldzera and Phelps both on the scene here. coldzera with the first contact, able to take down JKS. Quickly traded out, but Fallen and Phelps now, making it a 4v2 situation.
Well, there's a fortunate smoke that lands there. That will allow Smooya to get up and touch that bomb, but they're actually going to push ahead through this smoke and try and take a fight up front. They don't have the resources to be able to plant the bomb, and I think that's the right move. They have to actually fight out of this site and try and catch somebody from MIBR who's on an angle or a flank or something.
Well, it's only a matter of time at this point, Dallas. As MIBR, they can just play it passive. They can just flash off the enemy. Phelps now taking down Smooya, leaving only Azza. And as Fur actually comes out these halls momentarily, we should see the round end.
The jump peek, and Azza's going to get shot in the back. Like you said, the flank was starting to collapse in on the Renegades there, and those two players being on the site, if you stand stationary like that, you're allowing MIBR to be more mobile than you are. So I'd say at that point, you give it up, you give up that A site, you get that bomb, and you get the hell out of there. Because if you can, you might be able to push through one of those flankers and then force the CTs to think about, well, splitting their defense.
Yeah, I mean, if they got out of there right away, but by the time Fur was already by the halls, Renegades was pretty much committed to the site. There was not much they could do. Fur picks up that flank kill. A 13-2 half is what we're going to end with, Dallas.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got the second half, as short as it may be, coming up shortly between MIBR and Renegades. Stick around. Action coming at you. Here we come, and there they could possibly go. Map 1, which is Renegades map pick. You can see now the teams are actually swapped up there, but it has been all MIBR all day so far. 13-2 after that first half has played out, and the Renegades have been left wanting. They're into their pistol round for the CT side. Hopefully they can get things done, but they desperately need this pistol round to kick things off on the right foot.
Yeah, Fallen actually finishes that first half at 17-3. Tremendous effort coming out from the main opera for the Brazilian side as Coldzera does take down Azza towards those B tunnels. Phelps now taking down Jacob. Coldzera now moving up into the B site here from the catwalk, fighting off against Liaz. But Liaz able to get the better of him.
I mean, he's a ruse towards that B site. He was keeping them over there as long as he could because the bomb was being planted towards that A site anyway. So even though Renegades likely knew that it was an A hit, they couldn't really leave the B site comfortably until they dealt with that flank. Phelps holding a really strong spot, but wise that Renegades. Oh, they actually do it. You could tell. Smooya messed up that at the bunny hop through the hole first. Decided to reset, and it is so difficult to deal with. You do not expect it any time. 2v2 right now. The Renegades down to just Smooya. No kit as well, but he's won the first fight. But where is this dastardly Taco? The bomb is touched. Taco swings out and spots that he's come off of it, I think. No, he swings out again. Now he definitely knows, but he instead takes the fight up front, but with no kit, there's no hope. And Renegades don't get what they came for. They needed that good start.
Yeah, it was a nice little piss around out of MIBR, throwing those A smokes over towards that A bomb site just early on, but really they wanted to concentrate on the middle area, so what they're going to do is they're going to pop flash out very quickly, swarm towards it. You're going to see Coldzera head up that catwalk as well, while the rest of the members moving towards that connector.
He missed it up the first time, and he just whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fur actually congratulated him, even though it was a kill against Phelps. Fur says that was a nice little ninja jump through the murder hole right there. Well played. So we've got a little bit of a timeout. As interestingly enough, it's an MIBR timeout. This was messy in the first half when it came to the pistol and the force and the next round and the next round and the next round. It was just force by force by force buys. Neither team was able to really gather that momentum, but that was it. Those were the only 2 rounds that the Renegades won, was that second round, the pistol round, and then the third round. And after that, it's been a drought ever since then.
Yeah, Renegades now essentially forced. Actually, I was going to say that they might force up into this round, but they'll probably go for actually a strong gun round, right? And look to actually tie this one up to take it to overtime, because if they do force up into this round, they're going to be coming at it with pistols. If they fall in that round, it's another pistol round essentially to keep them afloat. So instead, they're just going to save this one out, get to those guns right away, and hopefully bring this one to OT.
Yeah, that's a very difficult task to send this one to OT, because you're going to need 13 in a row. I'm assuming they're not going to win this vanilla round, just a P250 on Liaz. But MIBR actually went for a nade stack into the B site, into the van, and it didn't really bear any fruit at all. And I thought maybe they would poke and prod towards that B site and continue with that effort. But instead, right now, Coldzera is tapping away. The only thing that stops him is the lack of ammunition. And instead, Taco will pick up and carry that baton, getting a 1 kill with the SMG, but that shouldn't matter all that much. I'd like to see somebody start to lean up towards top mid and recover the Krieg again, and they will. So MIBR now 15-2. This has been a really rapid first map, and this is Renegade's map pick too.
Yeah, definitely just a complete MIBR annihilation of the Renegade side here on their map pick, really having no opportunity to stop MIBR or even develop rounds, as MIBR throughout this first half was getting those entry kills. You were finding Renegades down a man the majority of the time. They weren't getting into trade positions either. MIBR taking full advantage of that, able to pick up kills very easily and then move out of position. Right now, Renegades with the op on Smooya, possibly looking to get their 3rd on the board of this first map.
Okay, this is the do or die. 3rd on the board would have to be the 4th, 5th, and ... to 15.
They got to keep going.
Yeah, 1 round at a time, but it's so hard to even give credence to a team that's so far behind at this point. You can see a nice little boost up here near the bench, on the bench, to get up and over the site and try and get an off angle to anybody that's encroaching to be apartments. But nobody's home. We won't see that develop, as creative as it might be. And that just gives me a hint, as even if this game ends sooner rather than later, Renegades just fell flat on their T side enough that I had mentioned before that you have to have some T side to have a chance at your CT favor.
Yeah, essentially if you have no rounds to play with, you're just pretty much on the brink the whole second half.
Yeah.
And this is the situation that Renegades is in right now, is they really just cannot fall in one round, especially because they're going to lose the match. But they needed that piss around to give them a little bit of breathing room, and not accomplishing that now. It's making it that much harder. Nice Molotov into window. Now it's not actually burning as a down.
That is close.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
even difficult to
goodness.
see. There's just a little bit of smoke and a little bit of hope that's keeping him from burning right
Surprised that
there.
didn't burn him.
Could it work? Oh, what a beautiful flash. Jacob is ducked into the corner, but in fact, he's got some help right there from JKS, who shot his opponents encroaching on his teammate in the back. Jacob was finished off, as low as he may be. Elias is now your wounded player out there, and suddenly things turn right back to the favor of MIBR, as you would expect. They've planted the bomb behind the triple box right now, and you have Coldzera here to stop both Lias and Smuya from making it across on the approach. There's the first, and I believe he definitely spotted the second. The flash came there, and he only needs one bullet. 16-2 is your first map scoreline. And remember, this is it. This best of 3 is the trip to